Hi, I'm Brett. This is my first video for Retire Abroad. Retire Abroad is a company that my wife, who is a Thai native, and I started to help people get information about retiring abroad. And our first app that we worked on is about retiring in Thailand. One of the reasons you might want to retire in Thailand is that it's significantly cheaper to live there. So if you're trying to plan on a sort of a maybe a cutting edge budget, you're barely able to retire when you want to. Going to Thailand might be a significant improvement in the finances of retirement for you. So, for instance, you're very close. You've maybe got just enough money saved up that you could retire maybe at 67, 65. It's possible that by moving to Thailand for part of the year or all the year, you could retire significantly earlier. But remember, a big consideration of retiring is going to be your gap between what you have comfortably from your investments in retirement and what you want to spend or what you can spend. So that income gap can be significantly less in Thailand. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is some software that I created. It's not necessarily perfect. It tries to use some basics of retirement planning. But what I really wanted to show you was differences. It shows pretty well differences in your ability to retire sooner. So let's say this is your typical um, your typical planning for somebody who's about to retire. I started at 61, a year before you could claim Social Security, and I show a bunch of different lines on here for different times when you might claim. It's not nothing about this is perfect. This is just some software that I whipped up quickly with the help of AI. But I think it's accurate in terms of it's got a bunch of things in it, and what I wanted to show you was if you if you take a look at it, and what I built into this one is a little bit of ability to just say I'm going to spend half the year in Thailand. So what happens with that? Well, as soon as you start spending a half a year in Thailand, your expenses go down, and it's possible you could rent your house out. In this little scenario, I put in a bunch of different ranges of um, how often you would how much you could get for your house, and then you sort of see where you're at. Obviously, in a lot of these in some of these scenarios, you haven't kind of waited. Even then, you haven't waited long enough to retire. um, so but it gets a lot closer when you do retire in Thailand. So let's jump back. So you lose that income and your expenses go up. So that's really what I wanted to show by showing this software here.